33 pipe bombs in public places in New York City. 22 explosions. 15 injured. Con Edison crooks, this is for you, said the first bomb note. And the criminal was caught 16 years later in 1957. George Metesky, a.k.a. Mad Bomber. For 16 years, the whole NYPD was in search of the terrorist Mad Bomber. It all started in 1940 when a pipe bomb or dud was found on the window ledge of Manhattan's Consolidated Edison building. The bomb was wrapped in a handwritten note that said, "Con Edison crooks, this is for you." No one knows who the person was and what made him do this. In a city like New York, placing a bomb in public places and hiding behind the shadows for 16 years without even being suspected was indeed a great piece of luck. But the police department did mind-blowing research and discoveries that helped them catch the criminal. The George Metesky case is bombarded with human psychology, and the criminal profile of the culprit is insane. Watch this video till the end to find out the criminal psychology behind the Mad Bomber case. George Peter Metesky was born on November 2, 1903 in Connecticut, United States. After World War I, he joined the U.S. Marines and served as a specialist electrician in the U.S. consulate in Shanghai. When he returned home, he worked as a mechanic in the Consolidated Edison Utility Company and settled in Waterbury, Connecticut, along with his two elder sisters. In 1931, Metesky met with an accident while he was working as a generator wiper at the company's Hell Gate when a boiler backfire produced hot gases, which knocked Metesky down, and the toxic fumes filled his lungs. He was disabled after this incident. He got 26 weeks of sick pay and was later dismissed. The accident led to pneumonia, which then turned into tuberculosis. He applied for workers' compensation, which was denied a number of times. This developed a hatred towards the company. This led him to do criminal activity. The first bomb planted in the company was not placed with the intention of a blast. If his intentions were so, then the note wouldn't be left wrapped on the bomb. It was more like a warning signal for the public and the company authorities. His second bomb was discovered a year later on a downtown street, a few blocks away from the company. The location and manner of the second bomb indicated that it was from the same person whose intention was to destroy the company. 3 months later, the U.S. was involved in the World War, and this is when the bomber sent a letter to the police. It said, "I will make no more bomb units for the duration of the war. My patriotic feelings have made me decide this. Later, I will bring the Con Edison to justice. They will pay for their dastardly deeds." And at the end of the letter, he signed off with FP. As said in the letter, the bomber did not plant another bomb for 9 years. Everyone was about to forget the incident until March 1950, when a third bomb was discovered, unexploded. The police were curious about this, and it felt like the bomb was never intended to explode. It was the calm before the storm. The first blast occurred from the fourth bomb at the New York Public Library, followed by one blast at Grand Central Station. The whole public and police were devastated by the fact that an anonymous person was planting bombs all over the city. By the following 6 years, around 30 bombs had been planted, and a majority of them exploded. Around 17 threatening letters were sent to the company, police stations, private individuals, and theaters. He mainly planted the bombs in theaters by tearing the upholstery with a pocket knife when the lights went off and placing the bomb inside it. Even though no one was dead due to the explosion, many were injured. The public lived and walked by the streets in fear. The pressure from the public and political image was severe on the police department, and they had to get help from Dr. James A. Brussel, a psychologist and criminologist who handles such investigations. They were unable to form a physical image or clues about the suspect, but with Brussel's help, they got the psychological aspects of the criminal. All the evidence they had, the unexploded bombs, letters, and the incidents, helped to look deeper into the criminal's profile. Brussel said that the suspect is a male former employee of the company, injured and seeking revenge, paranoid, lonely, around 45 to 50 years of age, foreign background with a good education, unmarried and living with female relatives who are older than him. He also said that once he is caught, he will wear a double-breasted jacket, all buttoned up. All these were not just random assumptions. Most of the characteristics were assumed based on common sense, and others with the psychiatric and psychoanalytic interpretations shown through the incidents and evidence. Clearly, he was a male, as the majority of bombers are males, and the employment history because of the first note he sent with the bomb. Other aspects like good education and foreign-based were because of the language used in the letters. It was formal and never used any contemporary slang. Brussel also said that the bomber had an Oedipus complex and hence is unmarried and most likely to live with female relatives. After deeply analyzing the handwritten letters from the bomber and the bombs that had a phallic construction, he said these: all the alphabets were written in geometric style. In contrast, all the W's were written in a curved bottom similar to a woman's chest. Brussel also pointed out that the bomber slashed open the theater seat upholstery and penetrated the bombs into the seat. All this combined, he believed that the bomber had Oedipus complex. All these traits were revealed now, but Brussel was confused about how to expose the criminal. Brussel was staring at the street roads through the window, and he realized that the bomber was paranoid. People suffering from this disorder may believe that other people are controlling them or planning against them. These people are filled with hatred for their imaginary enemies. When some aspects of their plot planning get into the conversation of others, paranoids are impatient. So when the bomber hears all these allegations about his personality, he would surely respond with an agreement or disagreement. After all the considerations, Brussel suggested the police to publish the psychological profile of the bomber in the newspaper. According to him, the bomber would love to have credit for the happenings, and his arrogance will make him spill some hints about himself. Followed by this, all the major newspapers gave out the details of the bomber. However, this resulted in a number of false leads. The real one called Brussel and warned him not to get involved in this. He also wrote a letter to the police. In that, he accidentally mentions his incident and the date of it. With this information they got, an administrative staff at the company was instructed to search the files for anyone who matched the bomber's profile. They came across a file of an ex-employee named George Metesky. The file contained several threatening letters using the same phrases and language received from FP. It also stated that he was injured during a boiler explosion on the same date as mentioned in the letter. They also got to know from the file that he was fired, and many of his compensation requests were also denied multiple times. Along with Metesky's identity, his address was also found. The police went to Metesky's home in Waterbury, Connecticut. There, they found the unmarried 54-year-old Polish man living with his two elder sisters. He had a muscular body and was in no rush to hide the bomb-making tools in his garage. In fact, he never tried to run away, nor did he panic. He confessed the truth and admitted that he is the one everyone calls Mad Bomber. It was a matter of confusion whether the date in his letter was revealed on purpose or by accident, as he seemed well prepared for his arrest. He then told the police that the FP he used to sign at the bottom of the letters denoted fair play. When the police arrived at his house, he was in his bathrobe, maybe getting ready to make the next bomb or to have his supper. He was then given time to dress. To everyone's shock, Metesky arrived wearing a double-breasted suit, fully buttoned. All the assumptions that Brussel made matched perfectly with Metesky. Only the trait of heart disease was false. However, he had a history of tuberculosis. Metesky was finally arrested after 16 years, 30 bombs, and many letters. He confessed to the public and the court that he is the culprit. On April 18, 1957, he was found mentally unstable to stand the trial and was hence committed to the Matawan Hospital for criminally insane. Later, as he was forbidden from the trials, he was moved to a state facility. He was later punished and cured and was finally released in 1973. Metesky returned home to Connecticut. He breathed his last in 1994 at the age of 90. He will forever be remembered. Everything the newspaper said about his personality was real and accepted by Metesky. He only said he couldn't understand why all the newspapers named him Mad Bomber, which was very unkind. Metesky indeed left with a huge impact and fear on everyone. People literally were afraid to use public restrooms as anything could happen at any time. Finally, when he was caught, and now that he is at peace, the Metesky case, aka Mad Bomber case, is solved and closed for good. With that, we've come to the end of the video. What are your thoughts on criminal psychology here? Do let us know in the comments section below. Also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more such content. Until next time.